The way I set up etudes for your class is pretty typical in many ways, but also unique in others. On the left-hand side navigation panel, you do see the standard links to the home page, which is the one we're on at this moment. Then we've got the announcements page, and here you go to see what I've been announcing to the class. Your view is a little different than mine. Then you've got ATS, or the place where we mostly get tested on in most classes. But in our class, you will only use this for orientation and for the project that you are going to be working on later in the quarter. Discussions, that's where we do most of our interaction, and I've got a lot of different forums with different types of discussion threads for each. So if you have a question regarding the orientation, obviously you go to this section here, to these threads. If you have a question regarding your syllabus, the calendar, and so on, you go to the office forum. If you want to, and you will actually submit your bio, or if you want to create a study group and interact with your classmates here, you go to the student lounge. And then with respect to each chapter here, as you can see, I set up the discussions threads for each assigned homework item. In addition, I do have a thread for any kind of question you might have on your reading, and then you have a couple other different types of threads. Now, the way I set up, for example, this chapter here, in this case, chapter 9, is the same way that I set up most other chapters. So you will see there's a pattern here. So whenever you need to ask a question directly about some item, you can always come here and do so. That's discussions. The chat room we don't use all that heavily. In fact, we hardly ever use it, but it's there for your use if you want to interact with your classmates in real time. Resources is a place where I place a lot of handouts, especially answer keys, which come in many ways, in most cases in PDF file format, which will require a password. I will send the password to you via an announcement at the beginning of the quarter. Then you have links to the syllabus, the class calendar, my accounting lab, which is the tool that we use for testing for this class. My accounting lab, also referred to as MAL, they've got a lot of other also learning resources you might want to use, and I'll explain that in a different presentation. There's also a link that is that directly takes you to the dashboard, which is, if you go back to the home page here, you will see that's what it's the same link as this one here, the dashboard, and I'll explain that in a second. And then the gradebook is a page that reflects all the gradebooks for all of my classes in a single place. So you can, later you'll see that you have a link for 1B or 1C. I'll be teaching No 51A in this quarter, so you don't have to worry about this one, but one of these links will be for you later in the quarter. Going back to my home page, in the middle section here, I've got an embedded website with 4 different tabs. The first tab, tab 0, reflects the information I sent to you via an email about a week before the beginning of the quarter, if you were already registered. So if you were not, or you missed it for some reason, you can always access that information here. But most of this is about logging into the course. So you're already in it, you don't have to worry about it. Orientation page is the one you're on right now, and as you can see, and as you know, it talks to you about how do I set up the class and so on. So that's what we're doing at this moment. The one you'll be using more often are these last 2 tabs. The class dashboard is where I sort of give you a suggestion as to how to approach the class. It also gives you links to resources such as the modules, which is the items that, or the websites that I use to package your learning materials for each chapter. So in the case of this class, Module 9 refers to Chapter 9, and Module 10 refers to Chapter 10, and so on. And as you can see, these, so you'll see later, the modules package basically lecture notes, both from the publishers and my notes, and sort of supplements what you will be reading in your textbook. Now remember that your textbook is your primary content source. So these modules are technically supplemental and optional, but I think will be useful, especially since I do have some problem-solving demonstrations in there. This dashboard also includes links to instructions to your project. You will be choosing one of these three options. I may change this later, but for now, as you can see, I'm listing three, and you'll be able to then, using this dashboard, access the instructions for these projects. In the same way, there are some class activities, and I have instructions under these links here.